The news with Bob Palmer, John Lindsey, Larry Green, Dan Ryan, and the award-winning Channel 7 News team.
Good evening. If your eyes are smarting and you feel a little short of breath, blame it on that chemical fire in Adams County. Now, what you smell are pesticide fumes that were released by the fire. They've spread all over the Denver area, and they are likely to continue to drift through the air most of the night because they are not being blown away. Now, we'll talk to Larry Green about that in just a moment, but doctors tell the news that what you smell is not likely to hurt you. However, at least a couple dozen people have been treated at hospitals after becoming sick. More on that and the fire from Betsy Dill.
The blast occurred shortly after 4 this afternoon at a chemical formulating plant on North Dahlia in Adams County. The company, Colorado International Corporation, manufactures insecticides and herbicides, and firemen believe the chemical that exploded was xylene, contained in gallon drums. They aren't sure what triggered it, but believe 2 workmen were in the building, apparently heating a barrel shortly before the explosion. The plant is located in an industrial area. Surrounding businesses were evacuated immediately, and roadblocks were set up to prevent rush hour traffic from entering the contaminated area. A huge black cloud could be seen from most points in the city. Flames from the initial blast and several succeeding explosions rose more than 100 feet in the air. At one point, toxic fumes blew toward homes in the North Metro area.
It was out of the north, of course, blowing the smoke right down onto Denver, and I'm sure the people with respiratory problems have felt the effects of it and will tonight.
Will there continue to be a danger here tomorrow or over the weekend?
Yeah, well, we've got a severe cleanup problem because the entire area is contaminated with this Class B poison, and of course that can be inhaled, ingested, or absorbed through the skin.
More than a dozen people were treated at St. Anthony North Hospital for toxic poisoning, but so far no serious injuries have been reported.
We've seen about 14 people that have come in over the past hour with various complaints ranging from headache and slight nausea to some muscle tremors. There haven't been any people at this point have any signs of any serious toxic poisoning, but we would recommend if people are having severe headaches, nausea, muscle weakness, uncontrollable salivation or tearing, that they check into their be seen, call either their local doctor or be seen in an emergency room.
Back at the scene, 6 firemen had to be treated for smoke inhalation. There is a danger that another explosion could occur, so the fire department will remain out here all night tonight to keep watch. For the news, Betsy Dill reporting.
Of course, that report taped just a little earlier. We've just received word that the fire is now totally out and there is no danger of any more tanks exploding.
Now, Larry Green is with us, and Larry says that this thing couldn't have happened on a worse night, right?
Right. We have what's called a temperature inversion. Warm air over a cold air mass. We're down here at the surface. We have about 10 degrees. Now, I just called Lookout Mountain up at the tower, and they have 34 degrees up there, if you can imagine that. That warm air is trapping all those pollutants down here at the surface level. We need 53 degrees to break that temperature inversion and get things back to normal. The winds are not going to cooperate tonight. The temperature certainly is not going to cooperate, so we do have a bad situation throughout the rest of tonight and probably into the first part of tomorrow.
Okay, and of course we'll have more on the weather later.
I will.
Larry, thank you. Bob?
Well, there are 61 folks who are glad to be back in the good old U.S. of A. tonight. The 61 are the first plane load of Americans who were released from Mexican jails and returned to the States. 7 are from Colorado and 2 from the metropolitan area. Michael Ray Teagan of Denver and Mark Hall, Shoemaker of Boulder. They landed in San Diego not long ago, and here's a late report.
The first plane load of American citizens returned to the United States under terms of the new treaty. They came home to a restrained welcome enforced by security measures. As the jetliner taxied towards waiting prison officials, relatives and friends of those aboard, forced to stay behind fences, cheered and waved American flags. Some had signs that read, "Welcome back Nancy, welcome home Michael."
Hi, Bob.
Hey, John, your mama.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I think that none of us will forget what happened to us in Mexico.
They were quickly taken off the plane and led to a waiting U.S. Border Patrol bus. Their next stop, the San Diego Metropolitan Correctional Center, where they were processed, given physicals, and fed. The 61 men and women who came home this evening are no longer Mexican prisoners. They are now officially American prisoners. The U.S. Parole Commission will decide which ones will be released and which ones will have to serve more time. Harold Dow, CBS News.